Trauma to testimony encompasses the proclamation of the truth and narratives of believers who have endured trauma and shook up their pain and purposely walk daily in their victories, giving God their yes. We are standing and affirming Revelation 12:11 on this podcast. Listen, the surrender, the resurrection, overcoming trauma, the becoming better, the inner work you have to do, all heavy. Join me each week as we dissect the walk of faith we take as Christian women who have endured some of life's pain and struggles. We will dive into having the hard conversations to grow a deeper relationship with God. This right here is from our girls who have endured trauma but have a lot of Jesus. Healing Bestie, Healing Bestie, Healing Bestie. I have some exciting news. The She Is Redeemed devotional is now available in an 8-day devotional plan in the YouVersion Bible app. If you have been interested in getting your hands on the She Is Redeemed devotional, this will be it for you. Embarking on a transformative journey with the woman at the well story. Discovering how her encounter with Jesus brought healing and redemption to her story and her past. And with this plan, you'll be able to dive into reflections, prayers, and powerful testimonies. You'll find hope and restoration in your own life. So join me and all of the other amazing, courageous women who are embracing the incredible gift of redemption as we walk boldly with our Redeemer and we reclaim our redemption story. Go to the YouVersion Bible app and search She Is Redeemed or click the link in the show notes to go ahead and get started on the Bible plan. I really hope this helps you, Healing Bestie. Hey there, Healing Bestie. All right, let's have a heart to heart. Have you ever had those moments in life where you feel like it's a struggle to believe you're truly free from your past? Where trusting in God's promises feels like a battle, especially in tough seasons and painful moments? Or maybe you find it challenging to maintain unwavering faith in God, even after experiencing salvation. If you're nodding with me because you've had those moments too, know that you are not alone. As a trauma survivor and a woman who is overcoming her past and constantly on this healing journey, I certainly have my share of struggles. But here's the beautiful truth. Even in those moments, God's love is more than enough to pull us through. The day you embrace salvation, you are reconciled and brought back into a loving, redeeming relationship with God. You are free and you are redeemed. Let me be real with you. This devotional is a lifeline for those who are seeking healing, redemption, and renewal. I've walked this journey too, and let me tell you, it is nothing short of transformative. I've got something special for you today, Healing Bestie. The She Is Redeemed devotional. Inspired by the woman at the well, it is your lifeline to healing, redemption, and renewal. Inside, you'll find daily reflections, uplifting scriptures, and heartfelt stories to remind you that you are not alone. It is a warm hug from me saying, Healing Bestie, I see you and I understand. It's time to release your past pain and step boldly into the radiant woman you were created to be. Plus, when you order today, you'll get 2 exclusive bonuses because you deserve it. So head on over to traumatotestimony.org/shop and order your copy of the She Is Redeemed devotional right now. Let's walk this journey together, bestie, and discover healing, hope, and purpose in our Heavenly Father. You are redeemed. Find the link in the show notes to grab your copy. Don't wait. Your redemption journey awaits. Welcome back to the Trauma to Testimony podcast. This is your girl Tony, and I am so glad to be back with you this week as we continue the holiday Heal and Chill series. Now, if you have been listening this far, that we have been healing, learning, and growing and shaping our healing for this holiday season. And for the month of December, I just really want to just express that it's about to get real with healing. Like, the things that we are going to be diving into and talking about are much needed conversations to have about healing around the holidays. And I am so happy that we get the opportunity just to take this time and take this space to actually just say what it is. Call it out and say what it is. Sometimes you just need to call it out and say, this is what I'm going through. This is what's happening in my life. And I just really need the breakthrough at this very moment. And a lot of the times we, just neglect and push down how we feel because, we get in this place where we want to people please, or we want other people to be happy, and we want, for it to have the family, to have, just those voids be filled. I'm gonna have to pause for that one. For the voids to be filled. And a lot of the times we're seeking that from a place that can never fill that void. And if we're being honest, and if we're really taking the time to check in with ourselves and understand that, even in us longing for that void to be filled, that the person or the environment or the space that we were in, where we experienced the trauma, where we experienced the pain, where we experienced, the abandonment, the rejection, the neglect, the, just the painful situation, if we can be just honest with ourselves and know that going back to that same person, place, thing that has not served us well, or was the factor for the pain, looking for that to fill the void is just going to have us going around in circles. We can't grow in the place or with the same people that hurt us. We can't grow from those places unless we are doing something outside of that place or outside of that person. So now we have to take the time to grow from that position, grow from that place, grow from that trauma, grow from that situation, and put the right things in place to make sure that we are good, to make sure that each holiday I'm not going back to this same situation. I'm not still going through this same problem, or I'm not still reacting in a certain type of way, because we can, say that some spaces and some people are not good for us, but sometimes, and I keep it real about this healing journey, sometimes we're not good for us. Because sometimes we haven't done the work. Sometimes we are in the middle of doing the work and, we get triggered and it's back to square one. That's at least what it feels like, So when we actually are taking care of ourselves and we're healing, we understand that, what we're longing for during the holidays, or maybe what we're longing for going back to this space that wasn't good for us, or maybe what we're longing for going around these group of people that we know is going to be drama, we know is going to be draining, we know it's going to be arguments, and it's going to trigger something inside of us. Or let's just say it's plain outright not a group of people we should be around if we're healing in the part of healing that we are in the space of healing that we're in right now. And to do that, first you have to recognize that, okay, for me to get what I need, I'm going to have to put things in place. And I always say this: get the help that you need. Get the help that you need, because walking around and faking it, but you're still feeling it, is not fair to just your mental health and your emotional health and what you're going to need to get better and to get well. So, I know that was a lot, but definitely love when things just change up, because today we are going to be talking about boundaries, but just loving how God really put that on my spirit about that, and how it just took place, and it goes well into what we're talking about today, to set up the boundaries. I know, and I'm going to put this disclaimer before we get to starting to talk about boundaries, is I know during the holidays sometimes we just want to belong. Sometimes we just want to be a part, especially, and I'm going to share just personally for me, especially when you've been in a place where you have felt, a part of my story is feeling the rejection, feeling the abandonment, feeling like, I always had to seek to find somewhere to belong. But once I've started to really go on my faith walk and really trying to just have this deep and intimate relationship with the Lord, I understood that that's where I belong. I don't have to seek for, all of these empty spaces when I'm, with man, but when I'm with God, I feel that everything that God gives me, I'm getting the whole spectrum of it. Like, I don't have to, go multiple places for all I need, because God is all I need. If I'm looking for love, God has that for me. If I'm looking for peace, God has that for me. If I'm looking for joy, God has that for me. And if you really be having some comical, humorous ahas from God and prayer time, like, God has really shown himself to me to be a God of humor, just in my life. So it's been just, getting all of that from God, not having to fight to belong somewhere, especially in the spaces that did not, wasn't really open to being inviting to me and nurturing me the right way. So when it comes to that and knowing all of that, it's like, okay, now that I know that, and I know that I can get that wholeness from God, I get back to a place of, that's that wisdom piece, knowing what you have been through, knowing that, there are some things that have happened, and knowing all the context of your healing. Now we're to a place where it's like, okay, the reality of my situation is this. My healing is this. And that blank, that, whatever fills that blank is the reality. And, even speaking about just my story of, really my struggles with rejection, I've noticed during the holidays, that rejection and that abandonment and that wanting to belong. At this time during this season, I have to go harder in just my relationship and my time with God, because your girl will go into people pleasing mode, because usually during this holiday season of pressure, that's what I know that it has impacted me and how I fall into it, but being real with my journey, that disclaimer for myself, and maybe that's it. Setting a disclaimer for your holiday season. Okay, I love it, because that's my disclaimer to myself and my healing journey. And maybe that's the thing. Okay, we'll see where this goes. My disclaimer to myself is, okay, you know that the pressure of this season is coming up, and you know that in your healing journey where you are right now is, really getting over the rejection, getting over the pain, getting over the abandonment, getting over all of those emotions that you felt at that moment that leads you to people please. Now we have to put things in place That's disclaimer. That's in the small fine print, that we now have to put things in place when we're going into social settings, or when we're going around family members, or that have triggered you, or maybe when we're going around spaces and environments that weren't so good, even if we have to go. Because let me tell you, we don't have to go nowhere we don't want to go. I had to really tell myself that too. Like, you don't have to go if you don't feel comfortable to go, unless it's necessary, unless it is a necessary thing that you need to get, unless a necessary thing that needs to happen while you're there. If not, then you don't have to go. But if we do need to face it, and we do need to, have a plan in place, that's that disclaimer. Like, oh yeah, I'm going here, but my disclaimer is this. And that is the setting boundaries. So we're going to get into the setting boundaries. Your disclaimer. I love it. I love these podcast episodes because God just be coming through. But when we talk about a disclaimer, in the fine print, and we're talking about boundaries, like putting healthy boundaries in place that says, you know what, for my healing, this is what I'm going to have to do. Boundaries help you to implement healthy coping mechanisms. They help you to really put things in place that says, you know what, for my journey, I may not understand everybody else's journey. I can't control anybody else's actions and what they'll do. But for me and what I'm going to do, this is what I'm putting in place for myself. This isn't, boundaries aren't, put upon somebody else's, what they're going to do. No, you're setting up the boundaries so that, okay, for my mental health, for my emotional health, for my well-being, this is what I'm putting in place. And it's for me. The boundary is for me. You would want, it's like you want other people to, to be a part of that boundary, but the boundaries that you're setting is really a part of what you're doing for your health and for your well-being. So setting healthy boundaries frees you from the expectation, of you as well during the holidays, because I know you can, sometimes, and I've been there and I'm still there some days and some seasons where it's like I'll set a boundary, but sometimes I waver on it because I start going through the emotions of, oh, well, I want to be here and I don't want people to say this and I don't want them to think this. And it's like most of the time, we're making up these scenarios in our head. Like, I know for myself, I can speak for me. Most of the time, it's something that I'm playing out in my head. And honestly, my advice for that would be to really just talk it out with, maybe a trusted, close friend, or your spouse, or your, someone that you really trust, your mentor. Just really talk it out. Maybe you need to hear it out loud. And sometimes, if you really need to play out scenarios, play it out in the mirror. Like, I've done that a lot of times. Like, okay, how I'm setting this boundary and this is how I'm going about the boundary. Let's play it out. Because a lot of the times we are making up these things in our heads and these stories in our heads that, maybe they may think this and they may do this and they may act like this, but it's like, unless it happens, it's not real. And a lot of the times when you have been through trauma and you have been through things, just speaking from a personal standpoint and how I, have over the years been overcoming trauma, when you have been through something, your scenarios come from a result of what happened to you. So, and a lot of times you'll start to catch, okay, am I really making this up, or will this happen? And again, my advice is talk it out with someone. And for me, I'm always pro therapy, because I'm like, listen, it has helped me, overcome. It has helped me get through. So along with, praying about it as well, because I am not going to say that just therapy and Jesus work together. Like, let me tell you, they work together. Because, that praying about it, that having that active life and, active, Christ-like mindset on top of hearing another perspective, actually getting professional help, actually hearing that, well, maybe this sounds like these symptoms, and maybe this sounds like this is what you're going through, and getting homework activities going together, it's powerful. It helps you to apply what you are going through and to know, okay, this is what I'm going through mentally and emotionally, but also if I'm talking to God, this is what I'm going through spiritually. And this is how I can take what, I'm healing from and apply it to my life to where I'm actually seeing the results. I'm seeing my life get better as I go. So, some things that you may set boundaries with this holiday season. Listen, let me reiterate, set a boundary with the places that you decide to go. Spaces that nurture you, love on you, and genuinely care for you are the type of spaces that you want to be in. You want to be in a space where you feel safe. You don't want to be in a space where you have to even question if you are safe. So, if that space is not safe for your mental health, your emotional health, your well-being as a whole, your physical health, if it is not safe for you and you have the means to not go and you have the resources to not make that a place you go to day or this year, listen. You can choose differently. You can do your holidays the way that you want to do them. You do not have to do them on nobody else's terms and nobody else's expectations. You can enjoy and celebrate your holiday season that the way that you want to, that protects your peace, protects your mental health, protects your energy, protects your spiritual health, and everything that you've been working through. And I'm kind of laughing on this. Everything that you have been working through as being a Christian, trying to keep, just everything about you to be Christ-like. Trust me, I've been there when it's like you get triggered and it's like, listen, I don't know. I'm probably about to lose it, but just know that you can make a different decision that doesn't jeopardize that. So another boundary that you can set is with the people that you decide to spend your holiday season with. Listen, I know a lot of the times we want to force ourselves to be in a space with people just because they have a title to us. Maybe they're family members. Maybe they're so and so friend, or maybe they're somebody that we have to be forced to be around because we have some good people that we really want to be around, but they have to be there for us to be around the people we want to be around. But again, you want the people around you to be people that genuinely care about you, to be people that feed into you, to be people that pour into you and that you pour into, and that there's reciprocity there. Because let's say you're in a place of healing, you're in a place of overcoming what you have been through, you're in a place of, maybe the holidays are not always the most wonderful time of the year, and you're still actively healing. Just because it's the holiday season doesn't mean that, you get a pause on healing and then you get to enjoy the holidays and then your healing comes back. No, the reality of it is that you are still going through this thing. So you need to make sure that you're putting in a plan in place for the people that you're around, because let's be honest, the words that people say, the things that they say, how they judge our situation, how they get access to certain things we're going through, those words, those actions that may be put upon us from people when we're healing, it can shift things for us. It can, one bad phrase or one opinion of someone that doesn't rub you right can really jeopardize your mental health. Like, you could literally have a regular conversation and somebody say something and you take it a certain type of way, and then, oh my God, everything changes. So to avoid that, just make sure that you are really checking in with yourself about your friends, your family, people that you have to be around during the holiday season. Like, am I really in a place in my healing journey where, I can be around this person? Can I vet for them? Can I vet for them in my healing journey? Can I vet that they'll understand where I'm at? Can I vet for just feeling like they're nurturing me and they're bringing the reciprocity, and I don't have to feel drained when I'm around them. I don't feel exhausted just to have a conversation with them. Like, really checking in with yourself about healing. So, boundaries with who you're hanging around. Hey there, Healing Besties. I want to invite you into a space of grace, healing, and growth this holiday season with the Holiday Heal and Chill series here on Trauma to Testimonies platforms. We will be diving into the holiday season, a more healed version of ourselves with a lot of boundaries, resources, chatting it up about healing, and of course, a whole lot of Jesus that we all need. Go to the link below or go to www.traumatotestimony.org/holiday-heal-and-chill so that you can get locked in to all of the good things that are coming this holiday season. You will not want to miss this opportunity to be with your sisters, healing besties, just in a space of healing and community. I hope to see you there. This next one is boundaries with any extracurricular activities. And I'm going to include business and workplace in this, because during the holidays, workplaces or business or different encounters we may have they may celebrate the holidays. And that's the thing, when it comes to our healing, we have to also know that in some of these spaces, we're not always, given the opportunity to take the time that we need, because we're probably showing up for the responsibilities we have and showing up in a space where we have to do it. Like, okay, if I'm showing up for business, but I'm still going through some things, I'm just having to show up because I'm having to bring in the income, or I'm having to see my business go somewhere, or the workplace. I'm having to see these bills get paid, honey. So you know what? I'm gonna have to show up during the holidays. And that's the thing. There's so much pressure, even though, maybe you're not going as hard because you're like, you know what, I got my family at home, I'm good on that. Even the pressure of holiday festivities and potlucks. Like, I remember being in my workplace and all the different things that would happen during the holidays, and just the pressure to just do so much and be a part of so many activities, and showing up. And that's the part that I want to say when it comes to anything that's occupational. So anything that's extracurricular, outside of work, outside of family, friends, or anything that's kind of like part of your internal world, let's say. But to really be graceful to yourself during this time, whether it comes to work, whether it comes to any extra curricular activities that you do, or anything, any organizations or anything else that is extra, and that, okay, I just do this because I love it. Even when it comes to business, just noticing that during the holidays, you can give yourself grace. You can give yourself grace in the space of healing that you are in any capacity, because I know sometimes we sit here and we're like, okay, I have to show up in this capacity. I have to be here to do this thing for my workplace, or I have to be here to do this thing for my business, or I have to be here to do this thing for my organization. At the same time, even when it comes to healing, you have to set the boundaries for how you are going to show up. How are you going to show up for the holidays? How are you showing up? Set the boundary to, to actually enjoy the holidays, to do some fun things, to actually say, you know what, I love this job, but you know what, I probably, cannot work through Christmas. I'm gonna have to start setting up boundaries, because maybe I just need a day where I can just sit to myself. I need a mental health day. Okay. And setting the boundary for any organizations. Hey guys, I understand you guys are having a potluck on the 20th, but you know what? Your girl gonna have to miss that. But what I can do is I can go ahead and send you guys a dish. And we don't think about healing in that aspect during the pressure of the holiday season, because there's so much going on, and it's coupled on top of things. Like, it's like maybe with that healing, your capacity is maxed out. Sometimes we don't think about that. When we're setting boundaries and everything, we don't think about our capacity when it comes to healing. We don't think about, this may be a lot, and I might not be mentally, okay for that. Like, I may not be emotionally, capable to handle that. Like, really setting in place when it comes to other interactions that we have outside of our families and friends, to say, you know what, maybe I can set some boundaries in place to make sure that, I'm not, affected in any type of way when I'm, going to the workplace. Because the things that we choose to do, or we have to do, like responsibilities, or we choose to be a part of an organization, like, just know that during the holidays, you can draw back for your healing. You can say, you know what, I may need a couple mental health days. You can say, hey, you know what, I may need to sit this one out. Or, hey, you know what, I may need to take this day to do this, to journal, to pray, to sit back and relax. And that brings me to the final boundary to set, or the final boundary that you can set regarding this topic, which is rest. And see, when we talk about rest, setting the boundary to rest, there is so much pressure during this holiday season. And I ran across an article, and I'm going to try to put it in the show notes, to remember to put it in the show notes. But I ran across an article that was talking about just all of the pressure of the holiday season. And when it comes to, financial pressure, when it comes to the pressure of buying gifts, the pressure of decorating, the pressure of, being around people, the social battery pressure, just all of the different things that pressure us during the holiday season. And what is interesting is that during this time, not most people think about actually scaling back and resting. Because, maybe we're having to go cook for the holidays, and maybe we're out here buying everything for presents and everything, and maybe we're out here stressing about how we're gonna get some Christmas money for the babies. Maybe we're out here stressing about how we have to interact and sit across from someone who paid us at the Thanksgiving table. Like, it is an honest thing that's happening with pressure during this holiday season. And we have to know with healing, when we're going through so much of, learning and unlearning, packing and unpacking, and really working through things and digging up past old wounds, and really, deciding to heal, deciding to learn, deciding to grow, that we have to know that even in all of that, we need to rest. And for some of us, it is literal rest. Like, let me go cop a nap. Okay, let me go get these hours in for sleep, because listen, I have been going in overtime. Okay, for some of us it's that. For some of us it's just literally, I need to rest in God in this season. Like, I have been carrying around the weight of what I have been through. I have been working. I have been journaling. I have been doing this healing thing, and I'm really getting tired of it, but I'm still sticking it out. And it seems like, God, some things that I'm really holding on to, I still have some hope. For some things that I'm not seeing, I still have some promises that I'm still holding on to, God, that you gave me. And maybe it seems that I'm just stressing at this time, that I'm just going through so much and I can't understand some things, and I just need to rest in you. I need to regain my peace. I need to regain my joy. I need to sit in some silent moments and be still with you and know that you are God. So for some of us, that's resting in God. And another part of that is, taking the time, like maybe a sabbatical during this season is important. Maybe understanding that, I need some time to recoup. I need some time to really sit with God and say, this is all that has happened this year. I know the pressure of the setting the goals and getting it ready for 2023. I know that's the pressure. So sitting down sounds insane, right? But at the same time, everything is in God's timing. And I had someone tell me, and I keep saying, because I'm reminded of this all the time. I had someone tell me, a coach that I had, a very awesome coach. When she hears this, she'll know it's her. But she told me, she said, I'm always on God's time. And that reminds me that I'm on time. So she says sometimes I have to say to myself, I'm on time. So I've gotten in the mode and in the message of saying, I'm on time. I'm on time. So if we get in that mindset and knowing that we are on time, then it really gets to a point where it's like, if I take the sabbatical, or if I don't, I'm on time. If I pause right now, or if I take the time that I need to rest in God, or I take the time that I need to rest and really get my body back right, and really get my mind back, sound, and really just quiet my thoughts, and really, take a step back to rest and get some therapy sessions in, take a moment to rest and get some bubble bath time in, get some alone time in, get some journaling time in, get the time that I need in, then I can take a step back and not worry, because I am on time, because I am on God's time. God is going to propel you when the time is needed for you to be propelled. God is going to, listen, if you're a girl like me, who God gives me a season where, I'm in straight stillness. God will, give you that season where you need to be still. God will give you the season to move. God will give you the season where you're in straight prayer. God will give you the season where you're in straight worship. So just knowing that everything is in God's timing, rest in God. Like, you don't have to be worried about keeping up with things, keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with whether this is that and whether that is that. It's like, no, rest in God, dwell in God. Everything is handled. Everything is okay. And once you start to have that mindset, you start to think differently. You start to heal differently. You start to operate differently. Knowing that I don't have to be on anyone else's time, but God's. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. And I'm going to add this too when it comes to resting in God. Sometimes when we go through healing, we're so focused on doing the healing that we're not focused on being in the healing. And a lot of the times we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to really honor that we're going through this process, and honor that, I may need to take a moment to myself. I may need to take the time to sit out. I may need to take the time to get myself back together, meaning that I may need to do the things to take care of myself and offer care to myself. I may need to take the time, even with healing, to know who I am right now. So yeah, I may need to sit in the bathtub just a little bit longer, 5 minutes longer, just to have a reflection time. Like, let's be honest. I may need to sit in my quiet time just a little bit more longer to talk and pray to God about what I am going through. I may need to journal just a few more pages to offer care to myself and re-invite in that you are doing this process. You are doing good. Healing is for you. Healing is not against you. What you are doing right now, you're making progress. Progress. A lot of the times in our healing journey, we don't give ourselves just the, I guess, the reward of just acceptance that we are going through something. Like, we don't give ourselves the hand clap, the congratulations, like you're doing a good job just for being in this process, just for being here, just for doing the work. But now, if we're being hit in the healing process, we're saying, you know what, we're honoring that you're here, and just sit here. Like, honoring that you're healing. Because it takes a lot to do the work of healing. And if you're a girl like me who be like, you know what, this is hard, but you know what, I'm here, then you feel everything of the feeling, the exhaustion from doing the healing work, feeling the tiredness from doing the healing work, feeling the emotion of doing healing work, feeling the mental warfare, the spiritual warfare of doing the healing work. Then you know exactly how it feels. So you need to offer your self-care. And the way that it helps you and rejuvenates you, offer your self-care. Healing is not easy. But if you're making a decision to put one foot in front of the other to heal each day because you know it's bigger than where you are right now, and it's bigger than you, then you are doing something big. You are doing something purposeful. And do not feel guilty or ashamed to set the boundary that right now I may need to offer care to myself. And any boundary that falls in line with that, I am going to have to set. And I can't worry about who gets mad and who turns away from me at this time, because you know what? In this journey, and I have learned this, and this is a hard pill to swallow. Some seasons it may be only you and God. It may be only you and God. You can have people around you. You can have people even in your home. I'm just being honest. But some seasons, and for some areas of your life, in some situations, it will be you and God, because you and God will be the only two that understand what you are going through. Healing is for you. Healing is for you. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. I hope that it has impacted you in a very special way. Share this episode with a friend who may need inspiration in this area. Screenshot this week's episode and let us know what you think about this episode. And tag us on Instagram at Trauma to Testimony. If this did a tug on your heart, I want to invite you to stick around with us and join our email list and Healing Bestie support community. The links are down in the show notes. And until next time, let's heal, bestie. Let's heal together. Heal with you next week.